just me, or does the sound of rain help with the sort of de-stressing? It just relaxes you. That some of the problems that you may have had within the week or whatever's on your mind, just sitting and listening to the rain just washes some of the problems away. Hey! Welcome back to another video. Hope you're all well. The weather has definitely taken a turn for the worse this week. Planning to go out yesterday, but the fog was so thick that I undenied that I could probably get some decent shots, but I decided not to do it in the end. And yeah, today's just raining and I don't fancy getting wet. Plus Fee's working a little bit later on, so I had like a short window to go out and shoot, so I decided not to do it. So instead, I thought I'd make a quick little video about growth, about how we can grow on social media. And the real question is, can we grow on social media nowadays? And I know that's a bit of a funky story, because there are still friends of mine who are consistently growing and their profiles seem to be sort of getting followers and whatnot. But for people like myself who are still in that sort of bracket where we're almost ready to break through but not quite breaking through, now I suppose there's a lot of aspects and sort of situations which can help growth, really. And I'm not entirely sure that I put myself in a situation where it helps me out as much. You know, a lot of my growth comes from meeting people and going out and introducing myself, which I don't get to do quite a fair bit because obviously I'm a family man, I have a large family. If you are in fact a follower of the channel, you will know that I've got myself a nice little brood, and you know, me and Phoenix take turns with the sort of looking after the children for when she works and for when I work. So getting out and about and trying to get my name out there is a little bit difficult. So I rely a lot on social media, and social media giving me the push that I really feel that I need to help grow. And every now and then I get like a nice little sort of burst and I do quite well, then it sort of stops for a bit, and then I get some fake accounts trying to follow me because they want me to, you know, pay for certain types of materials that I don't need to pay for, or you know, they want to follow for follow type thing, which I'm not sort of into either. But it's mainly down to the applications as well. If you have a look at recent activity on social media, the likes of YouTube and Instagram, and even if you want to put Vero into this whole sort of bracket, they don't really sort of help the smaller channels or the smaller platforms as much as what they seem to have used to at one point. You know, let's start off with Instagram, because that's quite still the main avenue for my sort of how I would express my art. It's where I post my videos, it's where I post my photographs, and it's where I sort of spend the majority of my time sort of like trying to sort of keep myself present within the social media, obviously away from YouTube, and we'll get back onto that in a second. But how Instagram has changed over the last few years, and there has been countless hours of videos on this platform to talk about how Instagram is no longer the photo sharing app that it used to be. That is now about videos. And you know, you try to follow the rules. I make more reels now than what I used to. I try to make them entertaining. I try to make them sort of like, you know, something that people would like to watch. I know they can't all be good, but with a constant saturated market, which is Instagram, how do you get seen? So of course they got these little things, you know, like use these particular sounds with the arrow going up, because that's what Instagram is pushing at the time. So I go through reels and I spend a fair bit of time trying to find a suitable clip, sound, or whatever it is that I think I could put to use to try to make sure it fluctuates. And every now and then I'll get one that goes a little bit crazy. I'll get one that gets 20,000 views, and then I'll get another one that only gets 200 views. So all of a sudden I'm sort of like stuck in that little sort of genre. Do I carry on posting like this, or do I carry on sort of doing what I'm doing in the hope that one day I will actually get a little bit of growth and a little bit of traction, and it sort of carries on again. YouTube is probably the same. I'm doing very well at YouTube. I'm quite happy with the progress that I'm making. My content changes with how I feel and what I'm up to and how I can actually go out and express myself. And I've been a little bit busy recently, which has been good personally. I've been busy working with musicians, making music videos. I'm currently sort of looking at other productions and trying to make more film than photography. So my YouTube channel has slightly changed. It's evolved a little bit, like I discussed when I was talking about the sort of the 5-year sort of milestone of Benham Media. And so I've not been able to have the free time to go out and do a street photography photo walk, which I really enjoyed doing. And you guys seem to enjoy that type of content as well. This type of content, not so much. This type of content is more along for the sort of the subscribers and the fans who like me, really. So I don't expect any wonders for this video, but it's more of a sort of like a type of video where I'm just trying to express a vloggy type feeling, where I can sort of like go, can somebody at my stage expect any growth without some serious personal effort? And YouTube do that. YouTube obviously pushes my videos for a little while, they get seen by a fair few people, and all of a sudden it sort of filters out, and then I've got to make a new video and try to get the push again, in the hope that I find somebody who's like, oh, that's pretty cool, and they watch another one, and they watch another one. Because I notice when I watch YouTube that once I've watched a video by a particular creator, all of a sudden on my feed it recommends other videos. Do they do it with mine? I don't know, because I'm not subscribed to my own channel, because I can't, really. But they are always trying to sort of like tell us the next big thing or the next new thing, which Vero was supposed to be. Now, if you've watched a few videos about Vero, you will sort of know that it's not new, it's been around for a while, but in recent months it has had an exurgent of sort of more popularity. Mainly down because some top content creators started to talk about it, and all of a sudden it became in the forefront of people's minds. Now again, I like Vero. I think it's a really nice application, a great way to share your work, but for the same people. It doesn't push your work to new people, a little bit what Instagram used to do, or what you still think it or hope that it does with your sort of content. So it's just sort of like, you get the same people like it, which is lovely if they still like it, but will somebody discover you on it? So again, you're not going to grow unless people actively come looking for you, which is a little bit like the reasons behind making this video. Is that at the moment, a lot of followers that I have are generally people that I meet as I'm walking around, or if I'm working, or if I'm chatting to the general public, or people that I meet in shops and they ask me what I do, and I say, oh, I'm a YouTube creator, I'm a photographer, oh, can I have a look? And these are the people who seem to sort of subscribe to me and sort of stick around for the longest periods of time, because we have a personal connection, rather than somebody in other parts of the world who might stumble across me and just sort of go, cool, I might follow him. Now that might be down to the fact that my content's not entertaining. Not all of my content can be entertaining, I do understand that, but it's also about me trying to get the out of a sludge that I get myself in every now and then. It's not just a creative block. I've got a fair few ideas that I want to sort of try to sort of throw out there. I've looked at something else recently that I'm really interested in trying out, so I'm going to see if I can start pushing that a little bit. And I do also know that my creativeness has sort of evolved slightly, that I'm not necessarily wanting to shoot the same things that I shot a year ago. So I want to try to bring a little bit more creativity into my work. So yeah, obviously the next stage is what I need to grow, is to get out there, to introduce myself to people. Now I've started a new adventure. It's literally going to start tomorrow, where the people who I'm going to be working with are my type of people who might be interested in the work that I do. So there's a high possibility that I can grow there. But for somebody who's just starting out, for somebody who's sort of still at that sort of stage where they're not entirely too sure how to break into the content create industry, how do we grow? There's no app out there that is built for content creators anymore. You know, a lot of stuff you see on TikTok and a lot of things that you see on Instagram nowadays, it's silliness. It's not always about the perfectly created entertainment that these platforms used to be. You used to go on to Instagram and there used to be some sensational content on there. Absolutely beautiful. But unless you now go searching for it, you don't necessarily get that. You know, there's a lot of sponsorship. I even saw the other day that I actually went onto somebody's profile, scrolled through their photos because I was catching up, supporting a colleague by liking their sort of posts and stuff. And then halfway through, a sponsorship, an advert came up on their feed. Not necessarily on my sort of like scrolling feed, but actually on their profile feed. That midway, sandwiched in between their photographs or their reels, was, hey, do you want an electric scooter? Click on this link. So it's even started to push that. And I reached out to my little group on Instagram and sort of said, like, have you noticed that when you go through your feed, there are more videos rather than photographs nowadays? That everyone needs to create more videos on Instagram because that's what they're pushing. So all of a sudden, I now have to spend a little bit more time to create reels rather than create photographs. And, you know, photographs take a fair time to create because not only do you need to shoot them, you've got to edit them, and then you've got to post them. You know, with a reel, I did one yesterday. It was a quick 6-second reel that I posted on Instagram, but it took me about an hour and a half to create. So, you know, TikTok's just fun. You know, I share the things that I create as reels on Instagram and I just share them on TikTok. I don't put any more thought into it. But again, it doesn't attract, it doesn't stick, it doesn't keep on going. I might get the odd new follower every now and then. And yeah, that's it. That's my thought process. That's why every now and then I like to just sort of sit by this doorway on a rainy day and just let my thoughts mellow around with a good cup of coffee and just try to feel and think what my next step needs to be. Because at the end of the road, this is a constantly changing environment that we find ourselves in. You know, I've always got to try to think of new ideas for a video every single week. I've got to think of new photographs in the same type of location. I've got to think of short stories every now and then to post on TikTok and Instagram because my photographs just won't coat the mustard. Growth is difficult in any aspect. But when you're trying to do it by yourself, it can be even worse. That's why it's important to try to get yourself a support system. Like-minded people who can just sort of get you out the rut every now and then. And I hope you have that. I've got it. I've got it at home. My family supports me massively. And I've got a great orbit of friends. This chat that I'm part of on Instagram really, really helps every now and then when you're having a bit of a lull moment. So I hope you have it as well. And if you don't, maybe reach out to me. Maybe we can start our own. More than happy to do that. More than happy to help people with their sort of feeling blue days or their sort of like, you know, I don't know what to create anymore. Because spitballing ideas is always good. But apart from that, guys, that's it for this video. Not much to say. Saying that, this is, according to that, 13 minutes long, so it's probably a fair bit to say. But yeah, I'm just gonna chill out, listen to the rain for a little while longer, finish me drink. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have, of course, do all the wonderful things by hit the thumbs up down there. It costs you nothing, but for me, it can help me grow. It lets YouTube know that you enjoy my content, and it pushes me to other people who might enjoy my content. And if you enjoy what you see here on this channel, of course you can subscribe. It's entirely up to you. It's a free world. Do what you want to do, but you know, subscribe. And yeah, guys, I hope you have a wonderful week, month, day, weekend. And until next time, I'll see you in the next video. Ciao for now.